What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Big Red Barrelcast, episode 10. I'm one of your hosts, Pacman Polar Bear, coming to you from Canada, and my man in the States, Dave, is with us as well.
Yo.
It sounded like you lost faith in your yo halfway through.
I was like, yo. He's not saying anything. Keep losing momentum. Ooh.
And this week, Kev will not be joining us, just because life sometimes gets in the way of podcasting for some reason. Who knows why?
No,
does.
You know what it is? It's all Kev's fault. I said, hey, Kev, I'm going to go see Iron Man at this time. I emailed both of you. You were on that email. And I was like, yeah, I need to be done by this time. And he said, okay. And you said, okay. And then today, he's like, yeah, I can't do that. It's like, this wasn't like an email I sent yesterday. This was days ago.
Yeah, it's surprising that we've managed to go 10 episodes without too much trouble. Like, I got sick once, and Kev is missing today, but we're still putting on a show. It's going to be a little bit of a shorter show than we usually record, just because of a couple of time restraints, and we're not going to do the big issue of the week because we don't have Kev here to put his 2 cents in, and we're gonna drop a couple other things from the agenda. But this week's agenda should be pretty fun. We're going to dive right into it with...
Wait. Before we get into the agenda, I got to bring something up. It's another time for another one of Dave's weekly work adventures. So, last Saturday, me and my coworkers went out to have beers after work, like you do sometimes.
Yeah.
And one of our female coworkers happened to join us. And there's a really fine line between slutty and dirty. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah.
Well, she was in the dirty side of that, and apparently one of my coworkers had decided at some point. He's like, "I've had enough beer. She is clearly trying to have sex with somebody." Like, she was literally like, it was like, "Hey, I'm gonna drop this basketball right here. Who's gonna pick it up?" Like, that was literally the way she was throwing it out there, and I, of course, prevented him from doing so because it might have been a mistake he might regret when something's itchy in the morning. And on Monday morning, I got called a cockblocker. And yeah, I mean, I've been getting some shit for it all week long, and I'm like, wait a minute. I thought I was doing him a favor because he didn't go home with the cesspool over there. And they were like, I mean, literally, the girl peed in the parking lot of the bar we were at unnecessarily. She just was like, oh, you can go back. Oh, we were all leaving. She's like, I gotta pee. It's like, oh, well, maybe they'll let you back inside. The bar's not closed yet. And she's like, nah, I'm just gonna go over here. And I was like, what?
It sounds like the people from your workplace don't know how to follow the bro code or wingman etiquette. Because wingman etiquette isn't always about making sure your buddy gets some. It's also about making sure your buddy doesn't get some from someone he's going to regret later.
Yeah.
So you were looking out. You're doing what you're supposed to do.
I was trying, and I would like the listeners' feedback, both male and female, if we happen to have any female listeners listening. Did I do something wrong? Because I'm literally been getting crap. Dave's a cop blocker. No. It's like I kept you from having an itchy crotch. I'm pretty sure. I mean,
and the situation works, in reverse. If it was a dirty guy and and it was a girl you were saving. I mean, you don't want your people to go home with questionable individuals.
Yes.
Because if something bad happens, then you have to be the person to listen to all the fallout weeks. You're basically saving yourself some hassle.
Yep. So that's my thing. That's all I got to say about that.
Thanks, Dave. I think we all learned a little something.
Yeah.
First up on the agenda is something we've been talking about on the show for a while, just waiting for it to finally come out. Finally dropped this week on Tuesday. Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon. Did you have a chance to pick it up, Dave?
Hell yeah. Downloaded that mofo.
Hells yeah. And does it live up to the hype?
It does live up to the hype. And I gotta say, while I was playing it, I was like, Halo would be a hell of a lot of fun if it was like this.
Mm-hmm.
Because think about it. It's basically Halo. There are laser guns, there are sci-fi enemies, and you're sort of an invincible super soldier. It's Halo, except way better.
Halo with giant lasers, with giant lizards that shoot lasers.
Yes, and Michael Biehn.
It's not the biggest game in the world because this is a $15 bloated standalone expansion. But for $15, you don't have to own Far Cry 3 to play it. I'm having a blast. And since I grew up in the 80s, the jokes and stuff are really quite funny.
Yeah, there's a lot of 80s references, especially movies. It's like, welcome to the party, pal, is the first achievement you get for just turning the game on. Yeah, and the game starts off pretty quick. I mean, the tutorial that it makes you go through is actually pretty funny. Yeah. But it starts you right off in the action. You're loaded for bear, ready to go. Yeah. The skill tree isn't. You can't really choose anything. You just level up and get stronger and stronger, and you can buy upgrades for your guns. But it's got laser sharks and crazy crocodiles and just a lot of. You're just so powerful as you're running around. Like it's just insane. And except for maybe once or every now and then the pathfinding for the blood dragons doesn't work perfectly, but most of the time it's a blast to tear someone's heart out, throw it into one of these fortresses, and then have the blood dragon run in there and mess people up as you run around, sniping people as they try to fight a blood dragon or 2 or 3. Yep. And there's lots of I don't even know what to call it. Those cheap scares where something jumps out at you. Yeah. Like you will get hit by a snake, you will get attacked by a shark, you will get attacked by a crocodile, whether you want to or not. Like no matter how careful you are, they're gonna get you. Yeah. But it was a lot of fun for $15. It's probably one of the best $15 I've spent on DLC per se in a long time. Oh yeah, without a doubt. I'm really sad that I can't take Michael Bihn's character and just have him walk around the Far Cry 3 world. Like the actual game. If I could just get him to do that, that would be amazing. I would pay $15 more just for that, and I would replay Far Cry 3. Yeah, yeah. So instead of going, I don't know, he's like, oh yeah, you. I haven't finished Blood Dragon yet. Probably going to do that tomorrow. But you'll if you clear out everything, you'll get a good amount of time, a good 5, 6, 7 hours, maybe even longer, depending how much you lollygag. Out of $15, which is basically what you get from a lot of games these days, full price games these days. So. Hells yeah, go get it. Go get it. Do it. All right, we're gonna blaze through some of the stuff here that I just thought was that we can get through real quickly. Gears of War may actually get its own movie. Scott Stubber, who produced The Kingdom, Ted, Battleship. He signed on to produce Gears of War, and he's now teamed up with Epic to help them develop the script. God, I don't know if Gears of War could either be the easiest movie to make, or it could just be a sci-fi war movie that they call Gears of War, and that's all it has in common. All they need is Coltrane. Of course, and that's the best part. Is the guy that plays the Coltrane looks just like the Coltrane. Like he could probably drop a couple pounds, and then he's ready to go. Yeah. And that's really awesome. And all they have to do is remake Black Hawk Down, but with Gears guys. And I would watch it, and it would be amazing. It would be amazing. Speaking of stuff that we've seen or watched that was amazing, Watch Dogs has finally gotten a release date via its new trailer. So it's dropping this November 19th for PS3, 360, Wii U, and PC. And it will be available on day one will be available for PS4 at launch. So I don't know if that's day one, but it says it'll be available for PS4 at launch and is planned for other next-gen consoles, which is currently the way everyone's referring to the new Xbox. Yeah, you can't say what it is yet. Because they don't know the actual title. Really hoping it's not Durango. Yeah, I hope so. I doubt it'll actually be Durango. It might be. I've been hearing a lot of people tossing around the idea that new Xbox could be called Xbox Infinity and just have a little infinity symbol. That also is not good, because that would signify that that's the last Xbox you're ever going to need to buy. And no, we're going to need something else in like 6 years. Yeah, people were saying, well, if it's called Infinity, what are you going to call the next one? And then people Infinity were like, times 2. Xbox Beyond. Infinity times Infinity. Plus 1. Next up on the agenda is just something that's funny. So, not everyone, but some Wii owners got a little message from Nintendo, and I'm just going to read you this quote, which is just hilarious, because this is Nintendo sending a message to Wii users, and this says, the Wii U is the all-new home console from Nintendo.
it's not just an upgrade. It's an entirely new system that will change the way you and your family experience games and entertainment. They're still to their own fan base telling people it's not just an upgrade. It's actually an entirely new system, and it's been out for months, and they're still sending this message out to Wii users. It's just like, oh my god.
Yeah, I'll admit, up until the E3 press conference last year, when Mighty Mutt Tim told me that it is a new console, I was like, wait, it's a new console? Then why haven't they shown me a console yet? Why am I just looking at the stupid tablet? He's like, I know. Like, I thought for the longest time that it was just like, it's the Wii U. It's like, oh, it's... Because all they showed when they were like, hey, check out the Wii U, it's just the touchpad. It's like, oh, so it's like the balance board, huh? Nope.
Yep. And the thing about this is that this message still won't get through to a lot of people who especially a lot of the casual market. They're not really checking their messages or doing anything besides, the pick up and play casual experience of the Wii. They're like, that audience already has what they need, and they've really failed to convey what their need to get their new system. Poor Nintendo.
Please buy a console. We need the monies. It's looking bad, people. It's looking bad. Where's Kev?
Speaking of people who needs the monies, a dude lost his life savings at a fucking carnival where he spent $2,600 on a carnival game trying to win a $100 Xbox Connect.
Yeah, he's not a smart guy.
He's not a smart guy.
I want to be his buddy because he'll just give his money away. You need to be there.
$2,600 on a carnival game to get Kinect, which he could have just bought for $100.
I love his. The kids were there. They're really excited. And, I had to go home. I wasn't going to let this beat me. I was like, wow.
Yeah, that's the thing. He spent $300 the first time and then went home and took out another $2,300.
Yeah, went home and found the jar full of money and was like, oh, yeah.
But it's like he went home, he's like, you know what? I'm probably not going to be able to win it in $300. Better bring every dollar I have to my name. And people have been making fun of him saying, oh, that's your life savings, it's only $2,600. That's actually a lot more than most of you motherfuckers have in the bank in terms of savings.
So that's okay. He didn't have it in the bank either. His was like in his mattress.
Yeah, but mind you, this guy's stupid. So he went to the police because he says, oh, this game's rigged. It's a carnival game, dude. Of course it's rigged.
Yep.
Like, duh. And the best thing is, all he won for his $2,600 was a giant banana.
With dreadlocks.
Yeah.
He's the man.
Next up, we've got yet another game or add-on or part of a game that's gone to market, and, oh my god, you can't play it. So, Might and Magic Heroes 6, I guess. Might and Magic Heroes 6 came out this week. The newest add-on came out this week, and for about 24 hours plus, depending on where you lived, you couldn't play it. So it seems to be tied to the new add-on Shadows of Darkness. But basically, there seems to have been some sort of problem between people who got the add-on and Uplay's auto patch setup, or how that was working with the add-on, or how it was working with the game itself, or somewhere in between this add-on, how the Uplay works, the game broke for 24 hours.
Woo!
At least.
Uplay!
And having just gotten Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Future Soldier for Uplay on the PC, and having to go through what took me about 3.5 hours just to patch that game on Uplay, I suspect that they screwed the pooch yet again.
They're probably surprised some people were using Uplay. Holy crap, there are people using it? Damn.
Some of us are using it because you have to. Like all the games I have for Uplay, I got through Steam, or I unlocked through Steam, and so now Steam launches so that I could then launch Uplay, so that I can then use Uplay to patch my games. And a lot of Uplay's patching right now is numerically specific, so there's no cumulative patches. You have to download patch 1.3, install it, and then download patch 1.4 and install it. It's like the worst version of the PS3's way of updating things from when it launched. It's just awful. Next, speaking of awful, I'm not sure anyone's really surprised by this, but Snoop Dogg's game, Wave the Dog, dropped for Xbox Live Arcade today. It's cel-shaded fighting game. And guess what? It apparently really sucks.
It's got Snoop Lion in it, y'all.
Yeah, he's Snoop Lion now, but they refer to him as Snoop Dogg in the game because that was what it was called when it was in development. But
because the way of the lion just doesn't sound as cool.
Yeah, but it's got an M rating.
It's probably because there's a lot of pot in it.
Oh yeah, and it's a fighting game and whatever. But it could have been cool. It's got an M rating. It had a sort of slick looking art style, and it had Snoop Dogg. And if he had done it even passably good, we're talking like, just using this as a ballpark, like 70 on Metacritic good, it would have made him some money because, maybe not everyone's a super fan of Snoop anymore, but people will pick up something with Snoop's name on it if they thought it was half decent.
Yeah.
Speaking of something we're hoping is half decent, Fuse, that game that's not getting a lot of hype, that's coming out really, really soon.
A game we know nothing about, we're going to find out something about it.
Yeah. Fuse gets a demo on PS3 and 360 on May 7th, so I guess we'll find out whether or not this game is awesome or not. I'm starting to feel like, they don't really have a lot of faith in this game because I'm not seeing it very often anywhere.
Hey man, don't believe the hype.
Don't believe the hype. Doop doop. Speaking of hype, depends how much of a fan you are and how far back you can remember, but Eternal Darkness may actually be getting a sequel. So Eternal Darkness was one of the coolest little hidden gems, or semi-hidden gems, on the GameCube. So it's like 10 years ago now, I guess. But IGN has put up a teaser called Shadow of the Eternals, and it's basically a sequel and or spiritual successor to Eternal Darkness. And it's got the original game's director, Dennis Dyack, is involved, and they're starting a Kickstarter this Monday, so that'll probably be a couple days after the show comes out. God damn it,
another Kickstarter?
Yeah. The only thing about it is that sounds kind of worrisome is it's being made by Silicon Knights, and if you know anything about Silicon Knights, you know that their last couple games have been pretty friggin' awful. X-Men Destiny being the most recent example I think I can come up with.
Yeah, they're not good. And then they get sued by Unreal or somebody like that.
You know what? They've had a lot of problems with their development and their licensing and a whole bunch of other things. We've only got two more topics that we got to drop this week before we wrap this up, and they're kind of interrelated. So the first is Call of Duty Ghosts. The new Call of Duty game is coming out this November. They dropped a teaser trailer, and it looks like Call of Duty Ghosts is going to be one of the showcase games for Microsoft's press event on May 21st. So we'll probably get to see a lot more of Call of Duty Ghosts on May 21st.
And then also the guys from Bungie will come out and say, hey, we've got another developer diary for you. Why don't you watch it? We're going to talk about our game, Destiny. Yeah.
So Microsoft, like always, is having Call of Duty be a big part of their press conferences, because even though it was never an exclusive, Call of Duty has always been a powerhouse brand for Xbox in a way that it never was for the PC or PS3. Yep. It just is. I mean, even though you can play it on other systems, 90% of the audience is playing on the 360. Well, maybe not 90%, but a lot of them.
Yeah.
But the thing about it is since they're showing Call of Duty Ghosts on the 21st, Microsoft is, the news that Respawn Entertainment's next game could be Xbox exclusive is a big deal. Respawn Entertainment is the new studio that was founded by the guys by Vince Zampella and Jason West. Those are the guys who founded the Call of Duty series, the creators of the Call of Duty series. They got fired, they left, they jumped ship, started Respawn Entertainment, signed with EA, and their new game is a sci-fi shooter. And the rumor is that Respawn Entertainment's new shooter is going to be an Xbox exclusive. So it'll be on the new Xbox, and it'll probably be on the Xbox 360. But no one's expecting to see this game on the 21st, because it would be kind of weird for them to showcase Call of Duty Ghosts, which is made by Activision, and then show off their exclusive from Respawn Entertainment, which is in direct competition with Activision and with Call of Duty Ghosts, and there's a long-standing beef between those. But the rumor is that since Call of Duty Ghosts is going to be shown on the May 21st, that Respawn Entertainment's next game is definitely going to get an E3 showing.
It's about damn time.
It could be really cool. You know, it'll have a good budget. Activision very much wants to use their Battlefield series and probably this new series to combat. EA. EA very much wants to use their Battlefield and this new Respawn Entertainment game to combat Call of Duty, and it's kind of a big deal because if Microsoft can have both of those games under their really tight in their fold, it kind of takes a little bit of the sting out of the fact that Microsoft doesn't have a lot of internal developers that are worth anything.
Nope.
I mean, Sony still has the single largest stable of internal developers of any of the big three by a massive margin, and Nintendo as well has a lot of internal developing studios, and Microsoft just doesn't. So the rumor is that they're trying to buy up as many exclusives from third-party developers as they can.
Ubisoft will be there.
Yeah, good old Ubisoft.
Ubisoft will be there. Hey, we got games too, you know. Hey, look, here's some Splinter Cell Conviction footage. Boom.
Yeah. And our last thing, Grand Theft Auto 5 trailers dropped this week. And just for the simple fact that I love San Andreas, is my favorite Grand Theft Auto game. I was glad that there's Franklin the gangster, and then there's Michael the dad / thief, and then there's Trevor, who is like the king of white trash, I guess.
Yeah.
And so there's 3 protagonists in the game, but the stuff that's come from the developer, the press who've gotten to sit down and play the game, is you'll be able to switch between these 3 as you're playing in the universe at the drop of a hat. So you can just press a button, and suddenly the game world will pull you out of wherever you are in one part of the city all the way to the other part of the city, and boom, you're then controlling one of the other characters, and the characters themselves will meet up and exist in the same world, and it could be really cool. They're saying there's a lot of big changes to the core mechanics of this game.
I can't get excited for a Grand Theft Auto game anymore. I mean, Saints Row the 3rd was so awesome. Saints Row the 4th is looking pretty freaking sweet as you're on your way to like the White House as they get more and more ridiculous. And Watch Dogs is going to be open world, from what I gather, right?
Yeah, semi-open world.
I mean, I'm looking at that saying, because I watched the trailer we watched earlier with the one with the date in it, and I was like, wow, this is more exciting than GTA. I have no want to play another GTA game. I would have rather, instead of them making a GTA game, they would have made another Red Dead.
Yeah, well, I mean, the thing about the GTA games is the last one left a lot of us kind of unsatisfied, because I hated Nico Bellic. I found his whole story... Because
his whole story didn't make any sense. He's like, oh yeah, there's this really bad guy. I need to go find him. And then you find him, and the dude's like a junkie. And it's like, oh, well, that was kind of a wasted trip, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was... he just wasn't... I didn't like that character, and there was a lot of... open world games are always going to have mini games, but it seemed like they gave us lots of crappy mini games in Grand Theft Auto 4 and took away some of the stuff that I like being able to work out your character or make them really fat and all that kind of stuff. But this game's got a lot more extras. Like there's apparently like a full car customization options, like beyond just like paint jobs and tires. Like you can actually soup things up, but it could be really great. The production values will be high. If anything, the best part of Grand Theft Auto has always been the radio stations.
Yeah.
And I don't expect that to change.
Vice City's radio stations weren't all that. I mean, not Vice City, Grand Theft Auto 4. Vice City had the best.
Yeah, well, it depends. I mean, I like Vice City and San Andreas, and I really liked, even though it's not quite the same size, I like the soundtrack from Chinatown Wars as well. But after this game, we really need a female protagonist, maybe an Asian protagonist who isn't, locked into a small portable handheld.
I don't know if you'll ever get a female protagonist in GTA because it's so male oriented. Like all the little mini games, like the ones where you can go pick up hookers and stuff like that, and the flashing where you walk around and flash your ding dong at people.
Well, I mean, especially if they're going to be doing stuff like this, where they can have 3 full characters all take center stage in a game. Like, you can't tell me that the next one that they can't at least make one of those a woman or Asian or Latino or a man who could play as an alien, or just something to break up the whole criminal white guy and or cliche black gangster.
See, that's why I like Saints Row, because you can make your person look like whatever that you want, and there's like, several accents to choose from, like voice. There's several people doing voice work to choose from. It's pretty freaking sweet.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's the thing. Grand Theft Auto's always created a character for you to play as, whereas Saints Row and a couple the other open world games sort of allow you to just be you're the character that you made.
Yeah. And you just have like some generic name that, hey boss, what's up, man? What's up, thug?
Word. But that was our mini episode 10 of the Big Red Barrelcast. Yep. Thank you for listening.
We'll be back next week, hopefully with Kev.
Yep, hopefully with Kev. And there will not be bonus content this week.
Sorry.
I think that's actually the first time we said it, but 99.9% of the time we do bonus content. So it's just this one-time thing. We probably won't do it again, miss one for hopefully a good long while. We don't have any. I actually didn't take the time to grab enough shoutouts.
I got the shoutouts.
Oh, Dave's got it covered. See, he's got it covered.
From the forums, we got Matt B, McSeagull, Dangerous Brian, Urox, Bilbo T. Baggins, and Possessed Cheddar. Thanks for commenting on our show post. Sorry, I'm a little distracted. I'm psyched. I'm going to go see Iron Man 3 in a minute. So those guys did that. I didn't do any iTunes shoutouts. So if you want to get a next episode, go to the iTunes section of the iTunes and leave us some feedback, and I'll throw you in there. We don't charge for shoutouts here. You give us some love, we'll give you some love right back.
Yeah. Speaking of love, follow us. Follow me at Pacman Polar Bear. Follow Dave at Dave_BRB, and follow Kev at Krelith on the Twitters. Oh, and special shout out to Bubblegum. But she was a fan of the show. She shouted us out on Twitter, so just giving her a shout out as well. And that was the show.
Yep.
We shall catch you all on the flip side.
The Barrelcast, we out.
You and your ears are quite welcome for the podcasting goodness that you just heard. Why not roll on over to BigRedBarrel.com for more podcasts, news, reviews, and videos from the biggest, reddest site on the internet, BigRedBarrel.com.